Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Faith and Forex. May you prosper and be in good health as your soul prospers. Let's go. As you can see, I'm trying something new, showing my face on the channel. Let's just break down the possibilities of what may happen. Today we have news in 5 minutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so for Gbpjpy, we know that GJ on all time frames, which we just do a breakdown of the time frame correlation first before we do anything else. GJ is bullish weekly, bullish, where we can see our high low right at 198.4, and daily we have bullish. We have that swing internal low at 205, then we have that push to the upside. We have not seen a pullback for GJ as yet. We've just seen it trending upwards. All right, 4 hour bullish as well, with our 4 hour higher low being just around 205.3. That's what caused the break above structure here and that high, but we have not seen a pullback again. On the 1 hour, we are also bullish. So for Gbpjpy, I'm looking for two possibilities. If price breaks below 208, which is scenario, I have scenario 1. If price breaks below 208, I'm looking for that retest to drop all the way to 207, which is going to be my main area of interest. And of course, the reason I chose that as my area of interest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. I'd love to see GJ just push, breaking structure, and then we have that slide to the upside. I did go back in time to select what I call my long-term target, which is very good before you enter the market. Ensure that you have a long-term target just to identify an area that price may get to at the end of the week or before the week ends. So because I really don't see the sense of you intraday trading and exiting your positions each day. I know about slippage and all of that, but you're exiting your positions each day even though that trade had long-term potential. For example, if you had entered here on Sunday and say you just want to exit at the previous high, you'd have exited here when you could have had so many more pips. All right, so it's good to look at a long-term possibility. My long-term possibility for this week was the break above that weekly high. Once it broke above that weekly high, I would have been looking for retracements, which never really happened. Price kept moving higher and higher, and maybe we're going to see that pullback now. All right, so we're looking at our area of interest, which is 207. All right, there's a possibility that price may not even pull back into 207. It might break above 209. That is scenario 2. If it breaks above 209 and retest, I'm taking those buys into 210.5. And why did I choose 210.5? These main lines that you see, 1, 2, and 3, those were selected on bar replay. I went back into 2005, 2006 to select these areas, and when I came into 2025, I realized that price still respected these areas once, twice, and perhaps 3 times. Now we have price pushing to 210.5. I mean, overall, long term, GJ does have the potential to push as high as 216.5. All right, but that will take quite a number of months or a number of weeks before price pushes into those areas. All right, so I'm waiting for the break of 208.1, and then we could sell into 207, which is 100 pips. If that doesn't happen, we wait for the break above 209, retest, and then another 100 pips to 210 before we see that deep pullback. So those are just the possibilities I have for GJ. It might be consolidating around this area. Perhaps we'll see some form of consolidation. We don't know, but we're just going to box this off and wait to see what will happen. I need this just to be a little lighter so that it doesn't overcrowd my already overcrowded chart. So that's what I'm waiting on. Gold, just looking lovely. Gold is one of those pairs today which I'm not quite confident about, but if it hits it, it's really going to hit. If it doesn't hit, it really won't hit. All right, so news in 1 minute. Let me just see what I think will happen. GJ actually gave us an inducement around here. We saw that shift of structure. We saw that pullback into the 50% fib. If you can see, price was actually bearish. Yes, on the 1 hour. So we're creating lower lows, lower high, and then we had that break above the lower high. price pushed back just in here. If you use your fib tool, you will realize that price got into the 50%, which is an inducement because they know that fib traders are going to be taking entries here. So what happened during the Asian and the London session, price came for liquidity just below those entries, and now we're seeing a push here and price is respecting this strong area of support and resistance. All right, so I'm actually looking at entries around that. This area, my area of interest 1. Area of interest 2 is if during the news today price does not respect these areas, it's going to be taking out liquidity once more and getting into this area of the decisional demand, which is my area of interest 2. All right, if you want to be safe, you could wait for price to push above this strong area of support and resistance, and then you take those buys. If you want to be really safe, wait till price breaks above 42.16, and then you will be good for those long-term buys. All right, so we know where the buyers are in the market. It's very good to identify the buyers are at my area of interest too. As you can see, price came and then we had that big push. The buyers are also at 41.78, which is my area of interest 2. As you can see, price always respects that area, and the buyers are also at 41.90, which is my area of interest 1. All right, so the news has gone. It wasn't a high impact news, didn't do much. It didn't do much at all. All right, so as you can see, GJ is still bullish. I do not like these equal lows, because whenever you see equal lows, liquidity it's just a high probability liquidity area, especially trend line. And whenever you see a trend line, so those equal lows, I could see price just pushing to sweep that. Even though it did get a sweep, we could see that happening again, and then we see that push to the upside. All right, so if you want to be safe again, just wait for price to push above 41.26. Gold is really consolidating. If I'm being honest, it's not trending right now, and so it's not really a good time to be in the market any at all for gold, unless it breaks or pushes back to 42.16. Then you could expect an ongoing trend from that point. All right, so those are my areas of interest. You can look into those. Once price gets into areas of interest, you look for shift of structure, candlestick formation pattern. You can also use your moving average, which I have here. My moving average is just crossing under, which is a good sign for entries, but that's on the 30-minute time frame. That might not be the case on higher time frames, as you see, which I think 1 hour is better. It has not crossed over as yet, so once it breaks this area of support and resistance, we'll see that MA crossing under, which will be good for buys. All right, so if you're going to use the MA, pay attention to higher time frames. I recommend from the 1 hour upwards, and that's just an indicator you can select from here. All right, so on the 1 hour, it has not crossed over as yet, which is not very good to use the MA. The MA is supposed to be like the last resort. All right, so if I'm looking for shift of structure on the 15 minutes time frame, price is really bullish. If you look at this low, it's a swing low, swing high, and price is now respecting that higher low on the 15 minutes time frame. All right, but if we're supposed to look at internal structure, that's a different case. So swing structure is good, internal structure is actually bearish. All right, so we can see that gold was actually creating lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high. I'm going to use this as just one big lower low. All right, we actually see the shift of structure to the upside. Yes, if we continue considering these, just to be safe, because I really don't like to look at these little moves. All right, so we have a higher low here, so price has not broken below the previous low, which is a good sign. All right, so just to be safe, you could wait for the break above 42.07 for an early entry. All right, so those are the possibilities. I am not really going to be, this is my main chart, so when I was just looking at. All right, so we might really see that push down for GJ. Still wait. Let's remove this. This is not necessary either. Neither is this. Oh, this. Let me move this box. All right, so that's going to be my 1 hour low. And GJ looks just about good to get to 207. We don't know, maybe at the end of today, going into tomorrow, gold is not looking too bad either. I'm just worried that gold is going to give another there's going to be another manipulation into this area of demand, and then we see the push. I think that really is a high probability prediction. All right, so we see another inducement here for buyers, and then we see that manipulation and the push to the upside. All right, thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate the love and support. Just drop in the comment what you want to see, what you want to learn, what you'd want us to explore in the trading arena, and I'd love to journey with you guys. Bye bye.